Welcome, everyone. Welcome. On behalf of the University Student Union, we thank you and welcome you to today's space. Our hosts today are Stephanie Barboza and Isaac, who will be joining us and leading today's event. So, Stephanie.
Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Stephanie Barboza. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a fourth year here at CSUN. I'm majoring in Chicanx Studies and minoring in American Indian Studies. And I'm also co-president for the American Indian Student Association. And on behalf of the University Student Union, the American Indian Student Association, and the American Indian Studies Department, we want to welcome you to our American Indian Cultural Welcome. We are excited and look forward to spending the next hour and a half with you all. I will be serving as your co-host for today's program along with Isaac, who will introduce himself shortly. Today's program draws on the experiences of our American Indian faculty, staff, students, and alumni. This program will give us basically an opportunity to connect with one another and build community. We also prepared a team building activity where it's going to be an opportunity to connect among peers and the opportunity to hear from other members that are important to this community. And we're excited for today's program, which will be recorded as well to allow members of the community who were not able to attend today to be able to watch this program later. And I'll hand it over to Isaac now.
As Stephanie mentioned, hello everyone, my name is Isaac. I'm a fourth year here at CSUN studying film and cinematography. I'm vice president of the American Student Association, ASA. We'll start today's program by listening to a few words from our new CSUN president, Dr. Erica Beck, followed with a land welcome from Mark Villasenor, who is graciously attending today's program as a member of the Fernandinho Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. President Beck began her tenure at CSUN almost a month ago. Prior to joining us, she served as president of California State University Channel Islands since 2016 as a provost and executive vice president at Nevada State College. President Beck, welcome.
Well, thank you, Isaac, and thank you to all of you. Good afternoon. I'm delighted to join you all virtually for this afternoon's American Indian Cultural Welcome. As Isaac mentioned, this is my fourth week on campus, and as CSUN's new president, I look forward to learning more about the traditions and activities of our campus, including today's event. In addition to ensuring that our students have an outstanding academic experience at our university that prepares them for graduation and success post-graduation, another critical part of our mission is to connect our students with each other and to offer enriching and memorable college experiences. So the cultural welcomes are especially noteworthy because they recognize and celebrate the richness of diversity that our students bring to our academic community. And I want to express my appreciation to all of you for the very warm welcome I received here on campus. My first several weeks have been incredibly productive as I have been engaged in my 100-day listening tour. And I've had the opportunity to meet so many students, faculty, and staff, as well as alumni, business, and community leaders. And I look forward to having the opportunity to connect with many, many more in the weeks and months ahead. It's just such an honor to be a part of this really vibrant community. And I look forward to working together to building on your collective efforts as we continue to advance a university that is rooted in equity and continues to facilitate inquiry, discovery, and human potential. I'd like to extend my appreciation to the University Student Union staff, including Executive Director Deborah Hammond and Associate Director for Programs and Inclusion, who you saw earlier, Dr. Freddie Sanchez, for working with our students and your colleagues as you continue to advance equity and inclusion and facilitate a sense of belonging for our students. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Scott Andrews, who is also here today, Director of the American Indian Studies Program, and Dr. William Watkins, who is here as well, Vice President for Student Affairs, for your leadership in helping to make this event a success. And I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Mark Villasenor, a CSUN alumnus and Tataviam tribal leader who I was delighted to see on the program today. And I look forward to continuing to expand our partnership as we work together to facilitate a sense of place on our campus that is informed by Indigenous values. And finally, I hope that you will mark your calendars and join me on February 15th for a conversation with the president. More information will be going out soon, and I think you might hear a little bit more about that later in the program. So thank you for inviting me to join you today. I wish you a very enjoyable and memorable meeting and also a very successful spring semester. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Wow, thank you so much, President Beck. Thank you for joining us for today and for your kind words. And then from the American Indian Student Association, we welcome you here to CSUN. Our American Indian community welcomes you and to the campus, and we look forward to working with you as we continue to identify ways to enhance and support the experiences of our American Indian students, faculty, and staff. And as Dr. Andrews put in the chat, you're always welcome to come by an ASA meeting and get to know our student organization and student leaders a little bit better as well. And now we have the pleasure of welcoming Mark Villasenor, a member of our Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, who will welcome us into their land, followed by a performance. Mark is an active and determined member of his community, both culturally and politically, and has been engaged as a leader and citizen of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, which is a sovereign tribe of Los Angeles County, for all of his adult life. He is the descendant of lineages and villages of Ta'apu, Tapo Canyon, Siutkanga, the village at Encino, and Chaguyanga, a village in Santa Clarita Valley. And sorry if I mispronounced any, I'm welcome for any corrections and to learn the correct pronunciations. And I'll hand it over to Isaac.
As the current tribal vice president for his nation, Mark collaborates with federal, state, and local municipalities over, as well as other sovereign nations in efforts to better his tribe. Engaging in civic activity and responsibility, Villasenor has been active in city-sponsored initiatives. In addition to advocating for his tribal community, Villasenor supports other city residents. He is often called upon by his alma mater, CSU Northridge, to support student-initiated programs and provide guest lectures or songs. Additionally, Villasenor supports programs by other community-based organizations, providing services to the broader local community. To better accomplish financial, political, or cultural objectives for his community, he graduated with a BS in Business Administration with a focus in Global Supply Chain Management from California State University, Northridge. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank everybody for inviting me today. I'd really like to say a quick thank you to President Beck, the ASA Vice President, Scott Andrews, and the USU for all inviting me here. I know we have in the past with ASA under Scott Andrews, remarkable amount of interaction, as well as, you know, being a past alum. I was fortunate enough to take some of his classes, but I had been participating with the AIS department going back to probably at least 2003, 2004, since a very long time ago. So I'd just like to thank you again for inviting me. And I would like to say thank you all. And I'd like to acknowledge that CSUN is on the land for the Sesevitam, which is the people of Sesanga, which is the ancestral village of Porter Ranch, which would be the land that encompasses where now CSUN resides. The Sesevitam are one of the lineages that makes up the 26 lineages that make up the coalition of Fernandino Tataviam Nation. These lineages range from the San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita, and Antelope Valleys, and these are all unceded lands of our people. And I would just like to say thank you once again, and thank you for acknowledging my tribe and also the Sesevitam, the first peoples of the land that is now Northridge, Porter Ranch, and the area there. And in this tradition, we'd like to welcome you. And so we do that in usually a welcome song. So the first song I'm going to sing is a welcome song. And then the second song I'm going to sing is to show the broader relation of my people to the Serrano peoples. It's going to be a Serrano bird song. So this is the this is the welcome song. Pako kima pako kima pako kima menai kima menai kima pako kima pako kima pako kima menai kima menai kima pako kima pako kima pako kima menai kema menai kema Ita ita le tamale patona ita ale tamale patona ita Ita le tamale patona ita ale tamale patona ita ita le tamale patona ita ale tamale patona ita Ita, le tamale patona ita, ale tamale patona ita. Ita, le tamale patona ita, ale tamale patona ita. Beautiful. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for inviting us to be participatory in this, and I hope the event goes off well without a hitch. And being it's a multi-day function, I hope today and the rest of the days turn out to be well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's always great for me to hear that song. I had the privilege of hearing when you had when we did the workshop Whose Land You're On in person a couple years ago. That was the first time I ever heard it, and I always love hearing it. Ever since then, I recognize it now. So it's always a great part of every welcoming event. Your continued work with our CSUN campus will continue to elevate our students, and thank you for always helping acknowledge what helps elevate our students in acknowledging you as a CSUN member, a member of the CSUN community, and the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians. So that being said, we want to share a brief video that shows a little bit more about the connection between the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians and CSUN. And while that video is being pulled up, I think I can also put a link to the Tataviam actually have a website where they have a whole section of videos, and they have a lot of PSA videos that are really good for someone who wants to learn more about the Tataviam and about everything that they do. I think it's always really important to learn further. And these videos, they're PSA videos, so they're really helpful. They're like 1 to 2 minute videos that really get you to know about the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians. So hopefully I'm going to be putting that link in right now. And hopefully Freddie can pull up the other videos. But I definitely just recommend looking at the website. If you've never done it, there's a lot of great information on there. I know, especially when it comes to American Indian Studies classes, a lot of times we are looked to like find a little bit of information on the Tatavium. So that's a website that has basically everything that you need. But I've always enjoyed watching the videos.
We are the first people of Northern LA County. It is difficult for us to attain higher education. We are often invisible in our own homelands. Although we were supposed to be erased, we are still here. We are inspired through education and the growth of our communities. Thriving, proud, and resilient. We ask that you uplift our narrative and empower our voices in the work that you do and beyond.
We now want to welcome Dr. Scott Andrews, the director of the American Indian Studies Department, to say a few words. Dr. Andrews has been at CSUN since 2000 and specializes in American Indian literature. He has published book reviews, essays, poetry, and fiction in various journals. He serves on the editorial board for 2 Native Studies journals, not 1, but 2. Studies in American Indian Literatures, and Transmotion, an online journal for postmodern Indigenous studies. Welcome, Dr. Andrews.
Hi, thank you. Really quick shout out too that I am a citizen of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. And I also want to acknowledge that another member of the Tatavium is here, Jesus Alvarez. I see he is a senator for the Tatavium Nation, and he works on the Tatavium Land Conservancy. And he also works here on campus here at CSUN in the financial aid office. So we're really glad to have Jesus here along with Mark. I want to thank everybody for coming, and thank you for your efforts in supporting Native students at CSUN and the American Indian Studies program. As that video suggested, American Indian students sometimes are invisible on campuses. When you see demographic information about how many students of this ethnicity or that ethnicity, African American, Asian American, South Pacific Islander, you see these different groups, and frequently what you see missing from that list is American Indian. We make up about 1% of the population in the United States, make up less than 1% of most campus populations, and that's true at CSUN. But still here, still going strong, still growing in numbers, and as the first Californians, perhaps deserving recognition on each CSU campus, and that effort is growing, and we're doing here with the land acknowledgement that was mentioned. And I'm hoping President Beck will continue some efforts made by President Harrison in cooperation with the American Indian Studies program to do some land acknowledgement on campus. We've been working on making some indigenous plant spaces, plant zones on campus to do more land acknowledgement language in commencement, et cetera. And I'm working with the library on trying to get like an art mural, a history mural in the library space, so that when students go to study in the Commons, they can see the history of the San Fernando Valley and the Tataviam contribution to that, and learn that we're on Tataviam land. And I also want to recognize, I don't know if you guys are introduced later, but Dr. Nicole Blaylock is also here. She is a new assistant professor in American Indian Studies and been doing great things and good work. It's a really weird time we're in with COVID and having to all stay away from each other. And so it's been a difficult year for her, you know, her first year on the job, and bam, she can't ever come to campus and she can't hang out with the students and she can't do those things that we enjoy so much at CSUN. So I'm looking forward to when we're back on campus and she can be in her office and actually have lunch with students and hang out with faculty and get a feel for the real community and not a bunch of little faces on a screen. However much they all look nice, it's not the same. So I really thank the students, Stephanie and Isaac, for helping put this together. I also want to recognize Monica Gallegos. She is on the American Indian Studies Interdisciplinary Advisory Board. She is in communication studies, right? Comm studies. So I want to recognize her support being here with us today. So thank everybody. I also want to thank William Watkins. He's constantly supporting American Indian Studies and American Indian students, and he's always got the students back. So he's a stand-up guy. So thank you for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrews, for your words. You're always so quick, like you always remember everybody to introduce everybody and thank everybody, and I always love that. And thank you so much for being a great advisor and for your leadership and patience and guiding us all in this new time of being a student association and an organization. With that being said, now we invite Tim and Julia, our Associated Students Outdoor Adventures team, to help lead us in a guided activity.
Thank you, Stephanie. Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Shapansky. I work for Associated Students. And with me today, I have Juliet, one of our student assistants, and Christopher Whitesides, who is my colleague at Outdoor Adventures. And what we're going to do today is teach you a little bit, and then we're going to learn a little bit about each other. So what's going to happen here shortly is we're going to pop into breakout rooms, into a few breakout rooms, and we're going to learn a little bit about Zoom and how to mess up people's PowerPoint presentations when they do it. So that'll be fun. And then we're just going to get to learn a little bit about each other. And then we're going to come back here right before we're done, just to kind of talk about what we may have learned. While we may be playing games and having a good time, everything that we do has kind of an underlying theme to it. So we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it as a large group. Kind of what we did and what we learned. So if we could get ourselves shifted into breakout rooms, if we could have the share screen ability available for the facilitators, and I'll see you all in about 20 minutes. As long as I'm not in Jonathan's room, I think I'll be good.
Is that a wishful thinking right there?
That's wishful thinking. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's wishful
You know
thinking.
where you're ending up now.
I know.
Wait, I want to be in that room too. I want to be in that room too.
That's a fun room right there.
Well, I'm just taking Jonathan so everybody else can have a good time in their other rooms, and then I can just get, you know, him and deal with him. So
It looks like we're gonna all be in this room.
are we gonna all be in this room?
Yeah, our breakout room session didn't pop up. I think we have some setting issues.
All right.
So
You
we are
see,
here.
Tim, you wish came true, Tim.
That's okay. We're just gonna go with it. That's one of the things we try to teach in Outdoor Adventures. Stuff happens. I used to use the other word, but stuff happens, and we just have to go with it and make do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully I don't have anything inappropriate up. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. So on this screen right now, you should see a PowerPoint presentation or a Google Doc available that says this or that. And there are some words here. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to annotate. And what that means is we're going to learn how to draw on this and mess it up. So everyone's going to have a little bit of different technology. So if you have a laptop to an iPad to an iPhone to a Google Chromebook, this may all look a little bit different. So I'm going to start. Oh, Chris is going to take over my screen. I'll let Chris take over my screen.
I was just going to have you present and make it a little bigger for me. My eyes. Thank you.
Your eyes are so bad. Okay, we'll get it there. I'm glad you didn't say my eyes. So it's going to be a little different. So what everybody should hopefully be seeing right now is a green tab that says you are viewing Tim Shapansky, or I guess I changed it, CSUN OA Tim. You should see that. Next to that, you should see a little black box. Click that, and a drop down will show up. In there, there's the word annotate. And you want to click on that. And you want to just start drawing on my screen. For those that have an iPhone, you'll have a little pencil, I believe, down in the left-hand corner. On an iPad, you just might be using your finger. What we're going to see here are a text. So you can come in here and you can type your name. So I can write Tim, or as everybody's figuring out how to scribble, everybody's learning how to scribble. There's also a stamp function that you can use. So you can find little hearts, and we can put little hearts next to each other. There's an eraser where we can erase our name. There's also a format where you can pick different colors, which may come in handy a little bit later. So does anyone have any questions right now about this, about what we're doing? Okay, sounds like we're doing well here. So I am going to clear everybody's drawings, and we are going to move on to our activity. So what this activity is going to do is it's going to give you an option. You are going to choose an option. And then what I would love for everybody to do is share, not everyone, but a couple people to share what choice they made and why. So we will go with our first question, and we will use the stamp button or just kind of type your name. Do you like cats or do you like dogs? Got a lot of dog lovers in here. So many dog lovers. Someone in the middle. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So looks like we got a lot of people that have stamped. I would like to see if there are a couple people who would like to share why they chose the feline, the cat. And it can be anybody in the room. Or I can pick on people if they would like. So, anybody want to share why they chose a cat?
Has a raised hand.
I think it's an unfair question. I chose both because they're both amazing. But cats are fantastic because not only do they all have their own personality, just like dogs, but they've got a lot of attitude. So they're going to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, yes, they will. So awesome.
They don't need to be walked.
That's why I have a cat. So I had a child at one point and I had to walk him. So I chose to go with a cat after the child moved out of the house. So who would like to share why they chose the dog? And it's okay, you can just unmute yourself and speak up. It's a little hard for me to find the raise hand function while you're sharing the screen.
This is Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I like dogs because no matter what you do, they're loyal to the person, and they, it doesn't take much to make them happy. So
Okay, nice, very good. Anyone else?
I just wanted to make a comment that the other day I was at the dorms and I was walking to go get food and I saw this girl who was walking her cat and the cat just would not walk. Like she was training it to walk and she was just like standing there in front of him and saying like, come on, like walk. Eventually she just picked him up and carried him.
Yeah, I think you have to start really early trying to walk cats. So I'm gonna get a backpack for mine. I was like, I'm gonna buy a cat backpack, and Chris was like, what? Your cat's not gonna wear a backpack. And I was like, no, it's for me to carry my backpack, my cat in the backpack. So he was okay. He understood after that. So we're gonna move on to our next slide. All right, if we could choose to be in one of these two places, what place would we choose?
Oh, I like the shape drawing. That's a good call.
Hey, so who would like to share why they chose where they chose?
I can go. I chose the beachy area because my family, even like generations back, we've always been near the beach. My family is native to Baja California, so it's like that whole peninsula. So wherever I go, I'm somehow near the beach, and I love it so much.
Cool.
I have a similar connection to the beach. My family's the same thing. We're from Santa Monica Mountains, or all the way down to the Baja California, and the ocean just connects you with everyone in the world. So you feel that connection, no matter what.
But you got the surfer behind you. Is that you?
I wish. Not yet.
Not yet. Soon,
We're
right?
just high-fiving in the back.
Okay. How about the mountains? Who here wants to be in the mountains?
Me, I chose the mountains, and it's so funny because it's for similar reasons like of Adriana and Isaac. My family is from, our ancestral pueblo is in the mountains, and it's called Vista Hermosa, which means beautiful sight, which is literally on top of the mountain. So I feel like ever since like when I've looked at pictures of my ancestral pueblo and then I looked at the valley and I looked about how I've always been surrounded by mountains, I just feel very comfortable knowing that like it looks the same, like I see mountains everywhere I look.
Nice. And I see that someone here doesn't vacation with their wife. They go to the beach, and the other one goes to the mountains. So cool. Well, good. So we're getting to know a little bit more about everybody and why we choose what we choose. So we're going to move on to our next one. All right, so we have a few different options now. So we went from 2 options because we didn't want this to be too hard, but now this activity is gonna be a little harder. So we're gonna try to make that choice. Do we like some tea, some coffee, some fancy drinks, or there's a hidden little icon somewhere on there? Or if you really like something else, you can write it down. So I have a addiction to Pepsi. But I only drink it on the weekends. So if this was a Saturday or a Sunday, I'd probably put Pepsi down. But in the morning, it's normally coffee for me. And someone likes it all. So, all right. So if we could get a couple people to share who maybe haven't shared yet and tell us why you chose what you chose.
I can go. I chose tea because I need caffeine, especially early in the day, but coffee makes me very jittery and it sort of puts me over the edge. So I can't drink coffee. I'll just I won't be able to concentrate all day long. So tea's good. Need the caffeine, but not too much of it.
I can drink coffee and go to sleep at the same time. So, but I also drew an arrow in that connecting the two, right? Because I never drink my coffee black. I kind of turn it into chocolate by the time I'm done adding agave and milk to it. So, but I drink it all day. Somebody on Twitter was talking about something about how people will drink hot coffee and they'll drink iced coffee, but then they won't drink cold coffee, right? Coffee that was hot that's gone cold, they won't drink that, right? And I posted, I'll drink it. I'll drink any coffee. I'll drink hot coffee. I'll drink cold coffee. I'll drink 2-day-old coffee. It doesn't matter. And someone responded with, "Who hurt you?"
That was my response for you.
Oh my God, that killed me. Who hurt you? Oh God.
So, all right, well, let's see what we got going on our next slide. All right, super busy, overwhelmed, bang, bang, things are just flying at you. But when you get home at night and you're just gonna kind of relax and you want to turn the TV on, what one of these would you normally turn to?
We subscribe to all of them.
I think I have all of them in my house too, but I only go to one on my end. So.
Right now we're watching lots of Big Mouth, so I guess it would be Netflix.
That's inappropriate for school.
But also I'm finishing up the last season of The Expanse, so that's Prime Video.
Yep. I tried to get my wife into that. She wasn't really having it, so unfortunately. All right, so who would like to share why they chose what they chose?
I'll
I mean,
share
I
real
know we're not
quick.
all silent, right?
No,
All right,
hi
Audrey.
folks, it's Audrey. I usually go with Netflix. I think more so because it carries a lot of old shows that are not on TV anymore. So I've probably rewatched a few series here. I love medical drama, so that's definitely on the list. But the kids are at home, so we often use Disney Plus. So it's one of the two, but Netflix has a lot of good stuff, and they add a lot of content often. So it's a win.
Win-win.
Yes, Grace. Yes.
Anyone else like to share why they chose what they chose?
I couldn't decide because I have all of these. I know that seems like, ooh, she pays for all that, but I steal other people's accounts. So just like, hey, what's your login? But I've recently been using Hulu a lot. I'm a little upset at Netflix because I recently learned that they like make shows and they know it's going to be famous, but they cancel it after like a couple seasons. And I'm like, but I like that show. And so I don't like that. But Hulu has been uploading a lot of old shows like Family Matters, I Love Lucy, a lot of like older shows that I used to watch as a kid, and I don't have cable anymore, so I don't have access to them. So I've been on Hulu a lot, and they've been uploading some really cool old movies too.
Cool. Yeah, I spend a lot of my time on YouTube looking at flat Earth videos, and then my wife walks in and she just gets super mad at me, like, and I think it's always funny to watch things at people and then talk about them, and then I have the information to defend it or debunk it. So we'll do one more here. All right, so we are not working. We got the day off. What's something we like to do or would like to do? If you just get up in the morning, I mean, we'll say we already had our coffee. We already, got that out of the way. I guess there's a lot of napping. So
Are we talking during COVID times or post-COVID times?
you know what? That can be up to you when you let us know. There you go, Richard. Get more artistic with it. So, would anyone like to share why they chose what they chose?
I want to know who goes roller skating in the forest.
I
meant
had
to say,
Who
Somebody that goes
doesn't?
roller skating or hiking in the forest, and I want to know where
that's
they
what
do
I
that.
said. I said go roller skating / hiking in the forest. But there are certain spots in the Angeles National Forest where the road does take you up, and you can actually roller skate up the little path road. So I have done that once before, and I really liked that. But my perfect time is like every time I get into school, like I don't have time to roller skate or as much time as I want. And like usually like during the winter break, I was skating every day. So every time that I have time, I'm just like, I want to put my skates on.
My wife just went hiking at Runyon Canyon, and she said the paths are paved there, so you could go skating there.
Yeah, it's up. It's a good workout too because it's uphill and roller skating uphill. So your thighs, oh my.
Oh my, yep. Well, when you were saying roller skating in the mountains, I was like, wow, like we got an extreme athlete in here. One of my former graduate students, he was a downhill unicycle racer. So he would go down mountains on a unicycle. And my first question was, what happens? And he says, you just try to stand up the entire time and not fall over. So
wait, who does he compete with?
I know. All right, one more share before we move on to one of my favorite little activities in this section. Who would like to share?
I feel really alone as the lone person who favorited gaming. So clearly I'm not getting any new gaming friends in this meeting. Thanks, guys.
I'm old. They all make me seasick now.
Oh, they're good games. I have a couple games that Chris got me addicted to on my phone, so I do play a couple of games in there. It's like my morning coffee time with my Netflix on or YouTube. All right, so we're gonna move on to my favorite part here. So we are going to now, I'm going to prompt a question. And so we've had the time to play with the annotate tool. And what's going to happen now is you're going to draw the prompt that I give you. So we will start off with an easy one. Can you draw your favorite food? And it doesn't need to be your favorite. It could be your next to favorite or your favorite food eatery. So like Taco Bell or McDonald's or In-N-Out. Someone likes ice cream.
I really wish I had my like Wacom tablet pen hooked up to my computer right now.
Me too, because like I can touch screen this one and it has a pen too, and I can just I'm using my finger. It's so bad.
Oh, looks like we got some hamburgers in here.
That hamburger is really good. I'm mad. Who did that?
For real. Oh my gosh.
Someone's like, there's a text option. Okay, we just.
Monica, is that cheese and crackers?
It's very hard to draw what my favorite food is.
What's your favorite food?
Those are my grandmother's enchiladas with the tortillas on the side.
Okay, there you go. I mean, we are asking people to be artistic, and you know, we probably all have strengths in other areas.
I am not artistic at all. Yeah.
Is that 2 slices of pizza there, Freddie?
Yep. Not 1, 2.
Not one,
Do
but two.
so do you have them crust to crust? Do you like fold them like a sandwich and eat them that way?
No, that was a way I could draw the
I
track.
know.
I thought it was a slice of like Swiss cheese.
Oh, that would've been-
Just
yeah.
like what cheese.
I like the crossed out eyes on the fish.
Yeah, the dead fish, the dead fish.
They don't eat fish fillet. They don't eat fish and things like sushi. They just eat a whole dead fish.
A whole dead fish. Yup.
Grab it and bite on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you all for showing us your creative side. And we are just going to end this here with a little bit of a conversation about kind of what just happened and maybe what you might have learned today. Like I said, a lot of the things that we do seem silly, but there's something underneath it that we're trying to get at. So I'm just going to open the floor up if people would like to share maybe what they learned or what they might take away from what just happened in the last 30 minutes.
I think if everyone participates, then we're all sort of doing something together that a bunch of us have never done before, like just simply draw on the screen or figure out how to make something work or how to, like we're all facing the same problem individually in a certain way. And everyone's a little bit vulnerable in that sense because my hamburger doesn't look like a hamburger, my fish doesn't look like a fish, whatever. And so everybody's kind of experiencing that together, doing something new or a little that we're not skilled at.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Tanvir, I'm not sure. I hope I'm saying her name right or their name right. Says I was able to forget about school for once and just have fun. And I think that's what a lot of us. That's what I felt. I was able to, and it's similar to what Dr. Andrews was saying. We're able to engage together and just remember that that's all it's about, is having fun.
I think we also get to know each other better. Like I know Dr. Andrews likes Big Mouth and Netflix, and the enchiladas. People from Baja California, so it's good to just get to know other people and what they like and stuff. So it brings a different light to people.
Yeah, it's interesting when people have to start expressing their preferences for things like beach or mountain, dogs or cats, you really wind up learning their biography a little bit about like, well, my family's from this part of the country, that's why we like the ocean, or I'm from a certain part of the country and that's why I like the mountains, or I have these dogs, etc. We find out that Tim kicked his kids out of the house because they wanted too many walks, and so he got a cat instead. We find out people's biography in a certain sense.
I didn't kick him out. I said it was time to go. So anybody else like to share before we wrap up here?
I think it's also really nice that, there was help both verbally and in the chat, and it created some community around being responsible to each other in the space.
Yeah, because I'm not the only one here. You're all here in this space too, right? And we've all had different experiences working on Zoom. While when I share my screen and I'm doing things, I have less ways to like communicate with you without having a really messy screen. So if we have someone in the room that has done something, they can start sharing some of those techniques that can help us make our way through, whether it's a meeting or just a game or just hanging out, being able to have that ability to help one another. Because that probably is one of the harder things that we're having to do while being on Zoom, is really help one another. And we just have to find ways to help. And that is by sharing with others while we are in this space for however long we will be in this space. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for taking the time to allow us to come in here and share an activity with you and have a little bit of fun. You are more than welcome to bring us back. We have some other fun activities, some that are more competitive, some that are more cerebral. And we could always come back and share with you another time. So thank you for letting us come in, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Outdoor Adventures, and thank you, Tim, for leading us in these activities. I hope everybody enjoyed learning something new about each other, just like I did, and I hope we were all able to connect with at least one person we didn't know. We encourage everybody to ask for. We encourage you all to ask for each other's contacts before today's session is over, continuing the growth of our community, even if it's a virtual this semester.